My name's Richard Espley and I'd like to talk about my friend here. This purports to be a plaster cast of the face of William Shakespeare from his funerary monument in the Church of Holy Trinity in Stratford. The monument itself has been a source of endless debate and controversy, not least to people like Sir Edwin Durning-Lawrence, whose bookcases you can see behind me, who sought to derive arguments from inconsistencies in depictions of the monument that it was a fabrication and that Francis Bacon had actually written the works of William Shakespeare. Whatever you think about those arguments, this remains a puzzling item. We know that in 1748, the Reverend Joseph Green of Stratford had plaster casts made of the monument in the church. We also know that in 1814 and in 1846, plaster casts were taken not only of the head of Shakespeare from the monument, but also the entire monument itself. However, on the back of this example, there is a printed label explaining that it is a very rare survival from an unauthorized casting made in 1840 by one Warner, who was apprehended by the church authorities and ordered to destroy all of the casts and all of the apparatus necessary to make more. It is probably not irrelevant that that label was printed by a seller who was seeking to get the best price for this bust. However, the entire story seems a little unreliable. Casts from 1814 are not exactly common, but they are fairly frequent in museum collections around the country. I could also find no corroborating evidence at all for the existence of Warner, but I would love to be contradicted if anybody knows better. The label also explains that this is a duplicate of a cast in the National Portrait Gallery. There certainly is a cast in the National Portrait Gallery, and this may well have a relationship to it, but even a cursory comparison demonstrates that this example in our care is very much less finely modelled and almost appears, if it is a cast, to have been taken from a very worn mould. It is also unfortunate that in 1965 we know that the library had this example repaired, repainted and framed, so we have very little idea of exactly what condition it was in when it arrived here. But even so, this is still an object on which many people would like to place many different meanings. It is also, at base, a very mediocre piece of statuary. However you approach that tension, it is a potent reminder of the rather obscuring emphasis that the culture would like to place upon the very idea of a man called William Shakespeare.